I start talking really fast, let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand and we can address those. So the first slide that we have is going to be developing a recruitment plan. And I'll talk more about these 5 bullets, and that's going to be your who, what, when, where, and your how. So first, we have the who. So who is your target audience? What kind of members are you looking to recruit? And what is going to be the criteria that y'all are going to require your members to join? Is there going to be dues? Or is it open membership? Is there a minimum GPA? Is there, if you're a department organization, is there a class that you had to have taken to be in the organization? And with just some of those things, you're always going to want, especially since we're big on OrgSync, you're going to want to match your OrgSync profile to that. So your join options, if anybody can show up to any meeting, and that's how you become a member. If there's a membership process that you have, and with that, within your description and your keywords on OrgSync, you're going to want to match those. So when someone searches, and if they search women, a lot of the organizations that a few of you have named, that's hopefully what's going to come up. Your organizations will come up as some of those organizations in which are focused towards women. And next, we have the what. So what is the goal of your organization, or what are the goals of your organizations? And with that, even further, are they short-term goals or are they long-term goals? Is your short-term goal to have 6 new people come to your meeting next week, or maybe a longer-term goal by the end of the semester you want to double your size if you're a smaller organization, or do you want to have 10 members? In addition to that, what is your membership capacity? Does your organization, if you're an organization of 8 members, it might not be attainable to have 100 members by the end of the year. So making sure that those goals that you set are specific and attainable with anything that your organization is looking to do. All right, next we have the when. So when are you going to recruit, and what kind of time frame do you have on those members? Is your organization one that anybody can come to any meeting and they can join that way, or are you going to have a recruitment week? And I know a lot of times when you hear recruitment week, the first thing you think of is Greek organizations, but there are non-Greek organizations that host recruitment weeks, and that's going to be a week of activities, and whether that be activities that cost your organization money or not, you can maybe go out to the intramural fields and do some ultimate frisbee or anything like that, into where you're allowing the members that you're trying to recruit to meet your members, because that's a big part of recruiting the members is they have to want to join. And the best way to have people want to join is by meeting your members, because your members are good people, and that's why y'all are in the organizations. And with that time frame, you're also going to want to think about your officer transition. So is maybe there a time in the semester where it's not good for y'all to recruit, like we're coming up on finals week, so maybe that last meeting, no new members or anything like that. Think of those time frames in which you're wanting to recruit members, so then once you hit that point, then right now if you're interested, feel free to join us in our meeting, but we won't be accepting dues or accepting members until the following semester, and then keep in contact with those members throughout the winter break. Next, we have our where. So when you're looking for who you want to join and where you're going to recruit them. So if you're looking for first-year students, non-traditional students, a major specific student for a certain department, or athletes, thinking about where you're going to find those students. So if you're looking for some athletes to join your organization because you're an organization that's sports-oriented, the intramural fields may be a good place for you to start. If you're a business organization, you're looking for business students, the BOB is probably a good place for you to start. And so with that, when you're recruiting, when you're looking for those members, also to match your OrgSync categories, because we have a list of OrgSync categories: academic, professional, Greek, sports-related organizations, special interests. Making sure that you match those categories as best you can, so that if someone in this science engineering department is looking for that organization, that they can be able to search whether it's academic, professional, whether it's special interests, and so that they can find that. And if you have multiple categories in which you match with, then choose one that best fits, and then put those other in your keywords. Because sometimes for her campus, everyone might not know what that means, and you're going to be a special interest. So both of those are kind of somewhat vague, and so making sure in your keywords and your description that you're using words into which, if someone just hears about you on campus and you're like, oh, I kind of heard the mission, there's a few words that I kind of heard that I remember, they can search those words and be able to locate your organization. And then we have our how. Your how is going to be, how did your current members find themselves within your organization right now? Did they just walk by and they walked into the wrong meeting room and they were like, oh, maybe that's kind of cool, maybe I'll go next week? Or did they get to UNT as an excited freshman and say, you know what, I'm an engineering major, I'm going to find an organization for that? Or maybe that I knew someone that was involved in domestic violence and I want to be an advocate for that. How did they find themselves to be in your organization? And then lastly, for the how is your organization going to take the who, the what, the when, and the where, and execute an action plan in which is going to tie all of those together? So with that, maybe even though you're not a Greek organization or anything like that, you have a recruitment chairperson, or to where that's their main focus. Their main focus is going to be to find members, find ways into which you can have events to have interested members come out, and even also having a recruiting committee or a new member committee, any way that you want to do that, and to delegate a certain amount of people for that to be their focus, because it's not always the job of the president to find all the new members. It's not always, or find potential members. And the more that you are able to allocate things to other people, they're more than likely it's going to produce a better result. And so with that, I'm also having brochures and flyers. We have our org scene event plan, which you can fill out to table in the library mall or table anywhere on campus. So whether you choose that you're going to have a recruitment week and you're going to table every single day of the week from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., or you're going to table once a week, or you're going to pick 4 or 5 dates throughout the semester in which you'll table, or anything like that. And the same goes if you're going to have some sort of recruiting event. All right, and so some other recruiting tips that I have for you all is escort people to a meeting. If a friend of yours is interested in going, they're more likely to go to the meeting if you say, hey, let's meet up at the Union, and then we'll walk over to the meeting together, as opposed to them having to show up alone. And they're also going to walk in. They only know one person. They only know you. So they're going to walk into a room of 20, 30, however many people. That's a lot more intimidating. So if they get to walk in with you, they're more likely to go to the meeting. With that, be welcoming and inclusive. Definitely encourage your members to make those potential members to feel like they're part of the organization from the minute that they walk in. And that's as simple as your members approaching them and saying, hi, how are you? What's your name? What's your major? Not why are you here? And it's kind of aggressive, but just finding out, why they decided to come check out your meeting. And with that, promoting your organization, and ways that you can promote your organization is doing the university and department events. Our office specifically hosts Meet and Greet and Fling. There's a spring Meet and Greet and Fling, which all of that will be coming out soon, into which you can table. Social media is a big one. Everyone is on social media right now. In addition to that, if you have social media, make sure that it's updated. If you have your president information on there, if you have your meeting dates and times, make sure all that's updated, because sometimes it's so easy to kind of just skip over the bio all the time that you don't even realize that people are trying to come to your meeting and they're going to the wrong location every day and just think nobody's there. And with that, have other advertising and promotion items that fit your budget. If you don't have a $500 budget to advertise and promote, that's okay. There's events that you can host for free. There's facilities and things that you get from campus that you can promote your organization.
Such as?
Like the Career Center has, the business cards. Yeah, you could do something maybe with your organization on the business card. You can table, that's one of the, obviously one of the other things that you can do with the university. We have the workspace, the organization workspace up in our office. You can meet people there. And definitely just using those resources.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
You know the yard signs they have everywhere on campus? Is there a place on campus that does that for like cheaper than like say Orbit Press or like any other?
Yes, there is the Design Works, which is on the main floor, the second floor of the Union, and they do the yard signs. And I want to say the last time that I ordered them, it was like $7 a sign.
Okay, that's cheaper than the other.
So yeah, and especially if you're going to go take some out to Discovery Park, you maybe don't need 50. You maybe just a couple will suffice because there's only so many doors to get into Discovery Park.
Right.
Or if you just want to stick them around the Union, there's just kind of gauge how many you need.
And you need like permission for where to put those, right? Because like the same thing with the tabling, if we're not reaching our target audience, then that's just a bit point.
Yeah, I believe that as long as you have the Design Works, that was approved, because that's part of like signage and display and stuff. As long as you get all of that approved, you should be okay to put them in those like approved areas. You can't stick stuff to trees or on the building walls. And so as long as you're abiding by those policies of being approved, then you should be okay to post those wherever.
Okay.
How many did you say we should get and how much were they?
It just depends on how many you want to get. Like they're kind of wondering if they're going to put it around the science building. They might not need 30. So it just kind of depends on where you want your target audience to be. If you want to put them all over campus, I think that our office puts out like 20 or so per event, and they're $7 each.
It might be more expensive with steaks, though. It might be $10 with
Yeah.
steaks. With steaks? Yes.
I haven't seen the ones that are like, if they're by themselves or just flyers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you want the actual lawn signs with the steaks, I think they're
Yeah, that's going to be
But
like
I would
11 by
check
17.
Design Works and Ego Images. They're both in the Union. They both do lawn signs. So you can check out the pricing.
Yeah.
What?
Ego Images?
And with that, if
They're
you're
both next door to each other.
if you're putting the UNT logo on it, if you're putting an eagle, you definitely want to check in with URCM, and you can email them. It's branding@unt.edu.
Brand review.
Brand review, I'm sorry. And to where they can approve. That's the same for if you're going to get shirts for your organization, and you're going to put UNT on it, you're going to put eagle, anything trademarked by UNT, you're always going to want to get that approved. And
What
so
is
that
the people?
branding review at UNT.edu.
Just brand review.
Brand review. And you can just shoot them an email. Yeah, you don't have to meet with them. Shoot them an email with your image and everything that you want to do, and they can get you that information.
Cool.
All right, so does anybody have any successful or maybe unsuccessful recruitment ideas, strategies, tools that your organization might have had? Yes.
For ours, it's just, I think it's because we're relatively new. We're still trying to figure out, like, we haven't developed the necessary skill set to know how we're gonna, because when you think about like an organization that you start, you wanna like be able to pass down the torch. So for us that are like sophomores and juniors and we're starting off, it's like, well, we're still trying to learn, because really like it's like a lot of journalism majors because we like to write. And if we haven't even gotten into those classes where we like learn how to write proficiently, it's kind of like, okay, well, are we editing these articles the right way, or are we, doing certain things the right way? And just kind of, it's like we got our freshmen in, and at first it was rough because it was like, what are we doing? Kind of like, or like, we created a group me, but the group me got like a whole bunch of content, and it's like, because everybody wants to post, and so it's like, you miss out on like the important information, the important dates, so it was like, okay, well, let's try doing a newsletter. So we're trying to do a newsletter because people you need to check your emails anyway because that's like professional. So it's kind of like, okay, let's do a newsletter. But still now what we're trying to do is kind of, because I know for her campus, again, it's like women's empowerment. So I want it to be something, and it's just me, but like everybody else wants it to to be like this too. But something where it's like we grow our members as well as like hosting events for the UNT audience, you know, whether that be men and women. You know, I want our like girls to grow as well professionally, personally. I want them to be able to speak and, you know, all that good stuff. And know how to organize and know how to be proficient and not procrastinate on stuff too. But we're still learning how to do that. So
Yeah, and so with that, I mean, a couple things is some of the organizations I was in, we had the group meet, and that was all, you know, it's all fun and games. But maybe, I know everyone doesn't have Facebook, but maybe if a lot of your members, or most of your members have Facebook, going that route to where you have a private Facebook page for your organizations, and you can, I don't know about limiting who can post, but I believe you can do that to where maybe your president, your vice president, your officers are the only ones that can post on that. So if they get a notification from Facebook, they know that, hey, let me check the Facebook or anything like that. Or even, and I know it kind of gets difficult by having two group meetings, like one for very, you know, important information, and then one for the members to kind of just talk and, you know, say, hey, I'm going to get dinner. What's kind of.
You can always use OrgSync. OrgSync has every kind of tool possible if you utilize it, and we hope that you do. So you can post news posts and share things. You can even message all of your members in your portal. So that's always, you know, just kind of find one kind of place where all of your information is going to be, so people aren't confused about, you know, where to go to find information. Just kind of have one general place where you always post, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So next, we'll move on to development of our retainment plan. So now I'm going to talk about the grade principle, which I referenced from the University of Wisconsin at Madison. And so the grade method, G, stands for growth, R, recognition, A, achievement, P, participation, and E, enjoyment. So first we have growth, so just definition, having opportunities to increase your skills and competencies, personal skill development opportunities, being more competent, experienced, and confident. So ways to do that is giving your members the opportunity to grow as a person as well as grow as a leader. And some ways to give them those opportunities is to encourage them to work with others. I know typically if you break up into small groups within your meeting, you know, people always go to their friends. So maybe encouraging them pre-selecting those groups, or encouraging your members to sit by someone else you don't know that well at the meeting. Don't sit next to your best friend who y'all joined together, your freshman roommates, y'all are about to graduate together. Because I mean, and that's definitely a hard part, especially when you have older members and newer members, that the older members stick to the older members, the newer members stick to the newer members. So maybe pairing them up at a meeting, have an older member sit with a new member. In addition to giving them those opportunities, teach them skills. There's a lot of skills that can be learned from being in student boards and being a leader. And so showing them those skills, because as a freshman, you might not always have those soft skills. Some of those soft skills being communication, time management, public speaking. Thinking back to me as a freshman, I wouldn't be up here giving this presentation. But I got involved and I had a lot of opportunities that were given to me and that I gave myself that allowed me to gain some of those skills. And also challenge them with assignments and tasks. It's very easy to get complacent, to always be comfortable, and I'm a firm believer that you can learn a lot from just being a little bit uncomfortable. And whether that be in an organization where you're not big on event planning, but hey, would you mind being on the committee to help plan this event? Or, you know, encouraging them to be part of recruiting members and speaking to people. It's not always easy. You don't always know how to do it from the start, but they're going to learn and they're going to grow from being given those opportunities. Next we have recognition. So just a definition, gaining respect for others you admire, receiving praise for a job well done, receiving feedback on your work within the organization. In some ways of recognition, just recognizing people for what they've done, recognizing people for what they've accomplished, and some ways to show that appreciation is having maybe a member of the week. Showcasing your members who had good grades throughout the week. If people got A's and B's on their tests, they can shoot an email to the secretary, hey, I got this on my test, and you can at the beginning of the meeting recognize those members who are excelling in school. If you encourage service hours for your members, maybe having someone who had the most service hours in the week or within the month. And lastly, kind of like member of the week, maybe a supportive member of the month. If you have someone that they helped you study for your test, or your car broke down and they dropped everything they were doing and came to help you. Just ways to encourage them to get to know each other, to be supportive of each other, because it's very easy for there to be a clear divide, and if members within the organization don't like each other, people can feel that when they come to meetings and stuff like that. So recognizing for what they've done and for what they're accomplishing. Next, we have achievement. So having the opportunity to solve problems, seeing the result of your efforts, being given meaningful responsibilities, and seeing your feedback and ideas become a reality. So some ways to achieve, so some things on achievement. Is there a sense of team achievement? It's very easy for when you're talking in a meeting that everything has to do with the officers, especially when you do officer reports and different stuff like that. So are you allowing your members, whether older members that might not be an officer or new members, allowing them to be part of a team that's achieving something greater? Like I said, are the members given the opportunity to contribute to those achievements of your organization? And the last one, I know you can't really see it. Do your members feel that they have contributed? So with that specifically, I talked about at the beginning with the recruitment, setting those goals. So within those goals that you set, are you giving everyone the opportunity to take part in those goals, or are those goals very short-term and specific to one person? And that's okay. But if you are going to set specific goals for specific people or specific committees, that you also have general goals for the organization in which people can take part in. And if you have a big event, if you're doing an outreach event in the dead community, that someone can help out with that with something that seems so small, but had they not taken part in that task, the event wouldn't have turned out the way it did. So if you're going to do like wristbands, like someone sitting and handing out wristbands, or someone keeping track of everybody that came, that's good feedback for y'all and for y'all to use in the future if you want to host a bigger event, or you think, okay, maybe we hosted a too big event, let's scale it down just a little bit. Those numbers and those results are also very important to your organization in the long term. Next, we have participation, so definition. Planning and scheduling work, giving the opportunity and being allowed to make or contribute in important decision making, being active, not just a member. So ways to do that. So everyone is responsible for maintaining and sustaining members. It's not just the president's responsibility, or if you have a recruitment or new member, officer or chair, it's not just their job. Within my organizations that I was in, I was always encouraged to replace yourself. So when it's your senior year, a goal that maybe you should have is that by the time you graduate, there's one person in the organization that you feel is contributing to the organization and that you replace yourself with. Because if you're holding yourself to high standards, if you're accomplishing all these things within the organization, like you developed those soft skills, you expanded them, and that's something that you want someone else to get out of your organization, the goal of replacing yourself is, I feel, is very successful. Encouraging involvement and socialization of members, and that's involvement showing up to meetings, showing up to the events. I know it's so easy to get caught up and lost in school to where you're like, oh, I can't come, like I have this, I have that, I have this. But it's important to take those breaks, to go have enjoy college while you can. And then even with those, encouraging involvement and socialization of members that don't know each other that well. Like this doesn't just have to do with members to newer members, older members to newer members. Allowing them to get to know each other. And then a question I have is the only way to be actually active within your organization being an officer? So ways of that is empowering your members to do more. If you have a treasurer position, and maybe someone's interested in being a treasurer, maybe having a financial chair or anything like that, to where that they can learn some of those skills because they want to be more involved. Or maybe they don't see themselves being treasurer, but they're a business major or a finance major, and they can contribute to that in more ways than just being the officer, being the face, sitting in front of everybody else at the meeting. Give your members responsibilities. Then, like I said, I mean, if you're having an outreach event and you're doing wristbands, and that's part of the policies for liability and stuff for your organization, that's important. And those are responsibilities of which you can't go without. And create opportunities to practice those leadership skills. The Career Center will do like outreach events, so to speak, and they'll come and work with your members, and whether that's has to do with interviewing tips, those transferable skills. It may be everyone in one meeting, everyone in your organization brings a resume, and someone from the Career Center comes and talks about resumes and ways that you can vamp up your resume so that it makes you stand out. Some of these will just increase the confidence level of your members, and they will make for allowing you to produce some more successful officers, and even more than that, successful members and better members who are going to pass down the organization, when y'all are no longer attending the university. Last, we have enjoyment. So definition, having fun, working as part of a team, feeling a part of something more important. So structure your meetings so everyone feels comfortable. Create a safe zone for your members. And with that, with meetings, maybe every one of your meetings doesn't have to be formal, or maybe have formal meetings, informal meetings. Start your meeting with an icebreaker, and that can be another responsibility that we do that for our staff meetings, is that every week someone, or every other week when we meet, someone brings a different icebreaker. And that's something that we all participate in every meeting. And then if you have the opportunity to and you have the finances for it, bring some snacks at one of your meetings. Everyone loves food, always. And the second thing I have is ensure that your organization is worth the time it'll take to join. That goes back to the recruitment. Why are your members here? How did they end up where they are right now? And ensuring from the first day that you're showing your possible members, and as you continue showing your active members and your current members, that there's a reason that they're here, that they're going to get something out of it in the long run, and when they look back. Last one, you can't really see it. Encourage friendships, connections, and hangouts outside the regular organization meetings. So maybe having a social event within just your members. I know she mentioned that the skate place has like $5 skating. So if that's something that might interest your members, going to do that. Or like I said, if a lot of your members are interested in kind of sports, like playing ultimate frisbee, going to play volleyball, to sand volleyball courts. Different stuff like that. So does anybody have any retainment ideas, successful and unsuccessful, that your organization may have?
I had another one, because the first one was kind of unsuccessful, but one thing we did do, we had like a retreat, like a kind of just a retreat thing, where we went to like one of our president, she has like a clubhouse at our apartment complex, so we just got like pizza, we made like DIY projects and stuff, and then talked about like what we want out of the organization. So that was really cool. And then if you couldn't make it, we had like a second one, like the next day, like Saturday, where we just kind of went out to eat. We didn't really talk much about the organization. We just kind of went out to eat to have fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the retreats are always a good thing. Even if you can't afford to do a weekend retreat where it's 3 days, 2 nights. Having those one-day events where you go out to the clubhouse, or I know fall's coming, it's about to be cold, so there's not a lot of like outside stuff. So where maybe you can have like cookies and hot chocolate or something like that. Just encouraging your members to socialize, to get to know each other, to make them feel that they're a part of something bigger than themselves, something greater than themselves. That's definitely what I feel keeps people around. If I was ever in an organization that I just felt like I was going every week, that's definitely a very quick way for people to stop coming to some of your events.